A decade ago, in a small village, they shared a dream so wild it couldn't be stopped, a dream that became a legend.
We were a tight-knit community, as most mining communities are. One by one, they've closed down.
It was a Thursday. Jan was working. She said, I'm going to breed a racehorse. So I picked the pints up and said, good luck.
When I look back now, I don't know how I did it.
And here we have Topville, the 20th century thoroughbred horse.
These sort of people, they like to keep us commoners out, I think.
We put a sign up on the wall. Anybody wants to join a syndicate of racehorse ownership, speak to Jan.
I don't know nothing about horses. I don't.
The syndicate came together for one simple reason. They wanted to see if it could work.
Jan said, we're all an alliance. This is our dream. We name it Dream Alliance.
Dream Alliance!
This big chap with tattoos everywhere said, we've got a horse to have in training.
He was a working class horse that was about to take on the likes of the best.
He was now mixing it with the big time.
He looked classy.
40 horses and you got eyes for one.
Come on, Dream. Come on, Dream. Come on, Dream.
He always made me feel somebody else for the day. I wasn't Janet the cleaner anymore. I was Janet the racehorse owner.
It's elation when you can do something, particularly when no one gives you a chance.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making this film, too. It's such a beautiful story, and I loved how you sort of told this with no frills. You know, you just let everybody tell their story. You know, you've made a number of really great documentaries before. I'm wondering if that's what you look for when you go into making a movie. You know that those telling the story are sort of compelling enough, and you as a filmmaker don't have to pull any tricks out of your bag, you know?
No, absolutely. And this one was, you know, on paper, when we first found it, was like, you know, it's a great story, no question. It had these beautiful twists and turns. And but when I read it, I was actually too scared even to make the first call because I thought the story was so good that I was just desperate for the people to be involved. So the producer, Judith Dawson, who's back in London, she called up and tried to persuade these guys to take part. And we went down to meet them. And it's kind of when you come down the road to meet them, and these are the people who kind of emerge, and you think, okay, this is going to be a film.
Well,
we have a film here.
You're so incredible at telling your own story. It's a moving story, but you tell it so well, and I would almost say objectively, even though it is your story, you just sort of very plainly tell the facts. But let's go back to the beginning. I don't want to give away too much of the movie, but it is such a fascinating story. Can you just tell us about when you first decided to do this? Did you think you were crazy when you just decided to do this?
No, I bred show whippets and I qualified for crafts. I bred racing pigeons and I won a South Road National. I couldn't see the difference in breeding dogs, birds, or a racehorse. Same principle.
But so many others didn't think that, right?
Oh no, it's a big business. It's money.
Yeah.
And I think they probably think if the working class can get in, we'll overtake them. So they want to keep us out.
Well, overtake them as well as, you know, they stand so much on the sort of classism and the sort of historical pride that they have in this, that if you usurp it in any way, even by just doing the work, it sort of attacks what they would consider, I mean, it attacks their ego in many ways.
Yes, they call it the sport of kings, and
not the sport of queens, too.
Exactly. You know, but it is an expensive sport. I work 7 days a week in 2 jobs just to be able to keep the horses. And without a syndicate, we would never have got him on the race course. And we were lucky that we had 22 fabulous owners who loved the horse as much as we did.
Absolutely. And can you talk about being persuaded to do the documentary as well?
Oh, well, anything to do with horses, you got me hooked straight away because I'm horse mad. But she'd done a brilliant job. When they come and asked us if they could do it, first thing we said, the two of us together, you're going to make us look stupid, are you? Because we can do that ourselves.
So that was your one. That was your one hang up. Don't make us look stupid. we got that. We got that taken care of.
That's what we was afraid of.
And how did she persuade you? How did she let you? How did she gain your trust?
Oh, as soon as we met up with the two of them, it was sealed more or less. But she'd done us proud, fair play.
And what were you most fascinated about, or what were you most surprised by when you started interviewing them and you started getting their story, as well as the community's story as well?
I think, it was a great tale, no question. I think what I hadn't completely anticipated was that it was also absolutely a love story, in the sense that the bond that Jan, especially, but absolutely also Brian, but also the other Syndicate members, and even the village itself had formed with this horse was obviously so powerful. I mean, it was clearly something that was extremely emotional for them, which in a way I think is why the film, we sort of, as much as we possibly could, let the film tell itself, because you could just feel that emotional connection between them and the horse. And I think it was just the beautiful thing about this kind of journey that they went on together. And the horse gave them something. And when the worst happened, they stood by the horse. And so that's kind of really touching and sort of universal. I think I would say it's not really a film about horse racing at all. It's a film that just happens to be set in the world of horse racing, but has many kind of themes.
Absolutely. The film is about community. Yeah. The film, like you said, is in many ways about love and support. Jen, I mean, you said that you bred dogs, bred lots of other animals, but when you first started working with the horse, did you feel something different right away?
Yeah, Brian have had horses all his life. I'd never had anything to do with horses till I met him. But he always kept Welsh cobs, the heavy horses. But Dream is something else. Even today, he's very calming. He's, I suppose in a way you could say he's spiritual, because he engages with you. He understands your moods. He was there when I needed him. And he saved me from myself, and he's just fabulous.
He saved you from yourself?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask in what way? Because there is such a beautiful thing that you say at the beginning of the movie that really has to do with a person wanting to leave their mark and feeling as though they've had a life and they've worked really hard, but now it's time to find a way to sort of plant your flag.
Yeah.
Plant your flag. Put your flag in the ground. Sorry, you don't plant a flag.
Yeah. I gave up any chance of a career because I got married young and had the children, and so I wasn't going to leave my mark in regards to a career. I loved being a mother, don't get me wrong, I got 2 fabulous children, but you seemed as if every day was like Groundhog Day. You did the same thing and you needed something to take you away. And also, my parents were both housebound and ill, so as well as working, I was looking after those, and Dream was an escape. You know, some mornings with everything that you had to do in a day, you felt you just didn't want to get up, you know? It's going to be the same thing all over again, but Dream just kept you going.
And Brian, did you know that that Dream was this for her? Was that part of the reason that you were so supportive of it as well?
Yes. Well, it was like having one of your own children, it was. But like when she was down, we'd jump in the car, we'd go, it'd take us 2.5 hours, we'd go down, as soon as we seen the horse, it was a different woman. He brought that out of him. And with the photo there, as Janet is there now, if I put my mouth by his there now, he'd kiss you.
Really? So you have this incredible relationship with the horse. It's like one of your children almost at this point.
Oh yes, and I think, mind you, I have to be fair. I think everyone in the Syndicate felt the same, but obviously we were closer to him because we brought him into the world. I mean, short of giving birth to him, I brought him into the world. And we hand-reared him for 9 months of his life. And then when he went on to be schooled and taught manners, we went to see him regular almost every week. So he was part of our life for a very long time.
And how does this? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ryan. You keep mentioning the Syndicate, and it's talked about in the movie. But just so people know, in our audience, can you detail what the Syndicate is for them?
Well, it's a group of people. What it was, we knew that we could breed the horse, but couldn't afford to race it. So 22 people came along with us. They paid £10 a week, and they had part ownership of the horse. So for £10 a week, they had 12 years of great fun and ownership. And without them, we'd have never got him on the race course because there's no way we could have afforded to do it. So it was good for everybody.
And when you were interviewing everybody, the people that were a part of the Syndicate, the people that contributed to this, did you get a sense from them how much this meant to them, that they could be a part of this community as well, and how this horse affected this town, this village?
Absolutely, because the Kefren Forest, where Jan and Brian come from, was at one time right in the middle of a mining community. There were mines to left and right everywhere, and one by one they all closed. So it left very, very little work behind, and it meant that people had slightly turned in on themselves because they didn't really have the money to go out and to the clubs and pubs in the way they used to. And I think that people would gather again in the bookies or in the pub or the club to watch him race. And I think there really genuinely was a sense, as one of the characters says in the film, that it was, in his way, he was helping bring the place back to life. And I think it did a lot for the community, particularly as they'd seen him growing up as a foal, where they'd grown up, where their kids had grown up. He was brought up on an allotment amongst chickens and ducks and geese, where people grew their vegetables and had little old shanty glass houses, and he was raised up like the rest of them. So I think that was also a real powerful element of the story. So you can imagine the craziness. I won't give away too much, but at one point he has a wonderfully earned success, and that town went absolutely nuts. People were dancing naked on the table. It was full Monty.
I want to open it up for questions from the audience. Does anyone have any questions?
Hey all, good afternoon. I have a tremendous amount of respect for everybody on stage. I think anybody that goes against the establishment and tries to do their own thing deserves a lot of props. So thank you for doing your thing. My question's for Jen and Brian. Are there days where you wrestle with your past before, I guess, getting involved with a project such as Dark Horse? Because I know sometimes before taking an incredible journey, people hold on to things that might remind them of their former lives. So if there are, how do you deal with that as well?
No, I don't think so. We connected with Dream because he grew up on the slag heap that we played on. He was a kindred spirit as such. But no, we've enjoyed the journey. Dream got a fabulous life now, and we've moved on. But no, I don't think there's any flashbacks from childhood or anything, no.
What was it like for you guys when you first saw the film? You first saw what was put together, because it's a really beautiful telling of your story.
Do you know, it's funny because when we actually live through the experience, you don't see a story there. You know, these things happen and you work your way through them. And once Louise had put the documentary together and you sat and watched it, you think, wow, you know, it really happened. It was a story, you know, an outstanding story, but you don't see it at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to say this, I was one of the doubters, and I've had horses all my life. I never dreamt that we could do it. But she never gave a dream up. And, well, this horse had took us places we never dreamt of going. It was never about money. We've never made no money about it. It's the love for the horse.
Absolutely. I think we have time for 2 more questions. Next question.
Hi, it's right over here. It's good to have you guys here, and I'm grateful that you guys are making the movie as well. I've never rode a horse before, nor have I even touched one, so bringing this vision to life is exciting. I wanted to ask, how many horses do you own, and what feeling do you get riding the horse from, like, giving it to someone who has never ridden one before?
I don't want to shatter your dream, but I've never ridden one either.
She doesn't race the horse.
No, we have horses at home. We've got a gypsy cob, which the children in the village ride. Plus, he will go into a little trap. We've bought another mare now, and we've bred a foal. He's a yearling now, and he will eventually go into racing. So we own 2 thoroughbreds and a gypsy cob. But as much as when we break them in, I do go on them first and try them out. I don't actually hack them out.
She don't ask to go on, I'd chuck her on. You got to get on them.
I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah, hi. I grew up actually with 2 thoroughbreds. They're amazing creatures. But my question to you is, it was really nice to hear your story about wanting to do something for yourself, leave something behind, do something just your own. And that makes me want to run out and see it immediately. So thank you for that. It was inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to say before we close up, when I was watching this movie, my first thought hearing you talk in the interviews, how you talked about your life, I thought this is a really, really strong woman who's finally getting the chance to tell her story. And I have to say, sitting here with you right now, you're kind of a badass, Jan. I have to ask guys, when can people see the movie?
It's coming out on Friday.
Coming out on Friday? Awesome. Please go see it. It is a beautifully told story. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.